Catherine to get miffed over money. I don't care what they pay me as long as I get to brawl and booze.
When Catherine is out of sorts, there seems to be no escaping her ire, Commander. I do understand her, though, for whilst equality among the civilized races is not to be found, I do uphold that women are every bit as capable as men, provided they are lizards.
Yikes, what a vixen! Can't dear old Cathy be happy with the wages she gets? Not like she has to cook or clean.
Listen here, Commander, for I have a matter of great import that I should like to bring to your attention. In the realm I ruled, that rule was absolute, as was that of my vassals, women all, of course. We concerned ourselves with matters of mastery and the mind. Men with all things menial, according to the natural order. On this ship, however, I find myself trapped amid so many cocks of the walk, the one more swollen with self-importance than the next, only to discover these pompous windbags actually earn more wages than Scarlet, Prospera, or I do. If anyone, it is we of the superior sex who should sooner receive more silver and gold than those of the savage variety. You'll set right this iniquity, Commander, and you'll do it now. You'd have me beg, would you? Perhaps you're one of those, petty and puny, in need of power to perform. Forget it, Commander. I won't give you this satisfaction. Run a chauvinist ship if you must, but I'll not debase myself for the likes of you. Now leave me be.
Commander, the war is displacing a great many people, and thus the influx of a great many foreigners into the realm is inevitable. Many of them are driven to crime by want or ill will. To that effect, I propose that if a foreigner is found guilty of an offense, he or she should be deported immediately. Delinquency is on the rise, and we need...
Foreign criminals seem to abound like sand on the beach these days, Commander. Let's be rid of them like Falstaff suggests. In fact, the sea would be as good a border as any to make them cross. Yes, let them drown for their misdeeds.
Capital, Commander. Let others provide for this petty riffraff. We'll have none of them no more. Solves jail overcrowding, too. We're killing 2 burglar birds with 1 stone here. So, Oberon is putting poof nuptials back on the agenda, is he? When will those blasted elves realize marriage is about procreation, not pleasure or passion? Can't these queers be happy with what they have? Used to shoot 'em on sight barely a century ago.
Commander, I intend to propose legislation later today that will make it possible for gay couples to be married. I know I'll get some pretty stiff opposition from Falstaff and especially Yorick, so I'm hoping I can count on your support. Sir Falstaff raises some proper concerns about family values and the likes, but that holier-than-thou collection of bones will prattle on and on about gods and such nonsense. Nothing we can't handle.
Seven wither Oberon's tongue for uttering such perversions. He and his depraved ilk would allow men and women to fornicate with others of their own gender. How base, how vile can one become? God save us from this debauchery.
Commander, could you spare me a moment? Now, I know I'm a general and politics isn't my field of expertise, but I was hoping you'd support Oberon in his attempts to allow marriage for people of the same sex. It's a pet peeve of mine, you see. Live and let live, I say. Why do others get to decide who someone may or may not love? None of their bloody beeswax. So much hypocrisy would be exposed for what it is, you know. Think of the famed lizard artist Della Gecko, for instance. Everybody knows he's gay, but he was forced to marry a duke's daughter. 2 lives made miserable because of senseless so-called moral objections. The whole business is unconscionable if you stop and think about it. Thanks, Commander. You're a doll. I'd give you a kiss that'd blow your jetpack off if you weren't off limits.
Gay marriage is a reality. You've written history, Commander. Long have we elves fought for what we think is an example of basic equality, but never has a monarch given us his public support. Bravo!
Thanks again for passing that new marriage law, Commander. There are these 2 lizard girls I know, and they tied the knot the moment the news broke. What a feast we had! I don't remember any of it.
Commander, every citizen in the realm pays taxes. Every industry does the same. But which is the one institution that escapes the taxman? Why, the church, of course. Hardly fair, is it? So why not introduce a temple tax? Let every temple, church and cathedral pay, say, a monthly fee as a token of goodwill toward the Empire. After all, does not the church benefit too from a strong and wealthy state?
When will that filthy dwarf finally pass a single day without resorting to sacrilege, base and vile? The Church of the Seven is holy, above such secular concerns as taxes. If you want yet more gold for the royal coffers, you had better look elsewhere, Commander.
Introduce this new tax, Commander, and the Church will just demand more of the public in donations. So in the end, who will really pay? The man in the street, and they give more than their share already.
The Church of the Seven is one of the wealthiest organizations in Rivlon, Commander, and it's true they don't impart as much as tuppence to the treasury. So Falstaff is right, hardly fair.
Temple tax, what a marvelous idea. Take from the Seven and give it to science. Falstaff's got it.
You haven't a mercantile mind, Commander. I was dangling millions in front of you, and all you had to do was extend your hand. Bloody priests would have gotten nothing but their just deserts.
I hope you don't mind, Commander, but I've requested that a few of your generals should undo the havoc that is being caused by a group of lizard rebels. These misguided souls have taken to the teachings of a cult that worships the so-called One God, and they're causing no end of unrest where they dwell. I'm sure Henry and Edmund are the proper officers for the job, wouldn't you agree? They'll need to be diplomatic, though, if they seek to succeed.
Commander, a word in your ear. There seems to be a spot of trouble in one of the provinces. Some lizard rebel running amok. Naught but a trifle that Prospera has requested us to deal with. But she wants me and Bloody Edmund to go together. Yes, he's a lizard too, it stands to reason. But the man's as pleasant as a cactus down your trousers. So if you don't mind, I'll go alone. Practice? I'll be practicing skittles with his balls before the day is out. You know that cold-blooded cretin annoys me to no end. I'll follow your orders, Commander. But we're supposed to quell an uprising, you know, not add fuel to the fire.
A dear old lady, our Prospera, but it saddens me to see senility is taking hold. She actually wants me to work together with that barrel of gin they call a general. It would be almost comical, if it weren't so galling.
Were that I were the monarch and you the general, I'd kill for one of your powers, whereas you hardly have need of us.
What a pair Edmund and Henry make, Commander. Worry no longer. The insidious religion of the one god no longer tempts a single lizard in the realm. They either pay homage to the Seven, or have the good sense not to prattle on about gods at all.
We've returned from our mission, Commander. All's well among the lizards again. No more praise for the one god anymore, but proper prayer for the Seven, or whatever floats their boat. I was hoping for at least some resistance, so that I could spill a mite of their cold blood. But there was none to be had. Diplomacy, aka idle chatter, saved the day. Wasn't such a bad thing, looking back on it, that serpent of an Edmund tagged along. Obviously, we were plotting each other's demise from the get-go, but when push came to shove, we both wanted to appear the greater general, forced us to bring our A-game. Long story short, the cultists renounced their evil ways and were accepted back into society. Boring as fig stew. But Prospera's over the moon. She can stay there for all I care.
Commander, you know we elves sometimes stuff our pipes with a... So dwarves can drink themselves into a stupor every day, but you won't allow the use of a plant that has proven medicinal value. Hardly rational, is it, Commander?
Dal's Charwin White Whiskers strikes again, Commander. He's the foremost dwarven scholar, as I'm sure you know, and he's about to publish his 1000th article on natural history.
Commander, a most grave and with the utmost... A dwarven scholar? Really? Yes, well, I have... Well, Commander, I must admit I was... well, not wrong, but a tad less correct. The research... There we...
Commander, I'd like to address some issues I have with the Rivlon Times. Now, I know the press will try to embellish stories to make for more savory reading material. But half the stuff they print nowadays is fabricated nonsense of an almost always sensational or slanderous nature. I want you to reprimand them, Commander. I want it to be known that from now on they must either publish the truth or else publish no longer.
The Rivlon Times is no more than a daily dose of heresy for those that sinfully partake. Rather than admonish, you should abolish the thing altogether, Commander.
I thank you, Commander. To inform the general public of the events of the Empire is a great responsibility, not a lackadaisical frivolity. The dwarves...